Hey guys! Oh, hold on. Sorry, I got distracted. There's another group of people here. Hey guys, and welcome back to another vlog. We have not been here since last year. Can you believe that?
No, I mean, it's been like a full year. That's crazy.
So crazy. Well, I wouldn't say it's been less than a full year, but
it's been a year.
It's been, just haven't been here since last year. Because it's been less than a year.
Yeah.
All right. So today is going to be a little bit of a different video.
Spice it up.
How do we spice it up?
Well, we're doing a different video, so it's spicier.
Oh, got you. A while ago, back in August, I filmed a budget video to kind of explain our budgeting process and like what we use for it and all the good stuff like that. And I asked y'all if you'd like to see more, what would you like to see, and I did get a few responses. But then life kicked in and I have not been able to film any more budget videos since then. So even though life is still really crazy and hectic and I'm just exhausted, I did find some time that we could come down here and I could kind of give y'all another little update, or we could have just another sit down budget discussion. And so I do have my handy dandy budget book, and I was actually going to get out and like film it properly, but number one, it's really cold and windy outside, and so I will probably just like film the book another day and insert it here as I talk about it. But I guess we'll just get started. So I attempted to start the Budget Mom back in like 2017, I think. I didn't get very far. It wasn't until September of 2019 that I decided I was tired of not being able to do what I wanted to do with our money, and it was time to get serious about the budget. And so I had sit-down conversations with her and explained, hey, all the things that we do now, we're gonna have to stop. The only thing that's not changing is we kept our television subscription. I don't even know what we had at the time. But you know, there is no more going to the movies sporadically, no more planner stickers for me sporadically, no more, oh, we're having a bad day, let's go get some candy sporadically. Like, it was time to knuckle down and get serious because I had a bunch of debt. And so what I've done is I have created, like, I called it a budget mock-up, but I think it should have been like a mock budget is what I should have titled it. But that's okay, because that's not why we're here. We're here just to learn. All right. Whoops, that's still not the right page. So when I got started, I would have told you I have no room to save anything. Like, my fund, I don't even make enough to make everything work out. But in working through the Budget Mom process, I found that actually was not true. And so she advises for when you first get started to track your expenses, so that way you have an idea of how much money you spend in each category. I did that back in 2017, but when I started like in 2020, I would say, I already knew what I was spending. And our category that was the worst besides debt was food for two people. There are times we had a $1,000 food bill, and I was like, are you kidding me? So I did start the Budget Mom process, and you know, I don't know how to really show this very well, but you budget per paycheck. And so in this mock budget, I said that we earned $2,000 for this pay period. The pay period, the Budget Mom uses the 5th and the 20th a lot. Apparently that was a big thing. So we get paid in this mock budget on the 5th and the 20th as well. And so, you know, you list your bills first. I didn't really know how to do a mock budget very well, so I just put bills, and I guesstimated it was going to be $900. And then I tried to like break it down, and and show you all, like, you know, your mortgage payment, you know, your big payments, you want to split in half, because you don't want to have like this huge chunk of money coming out in one check to where you can't pay your other bills. So I would always break my mortgage payment in half, no matter how expensive or how cheap it was. So in this month budget, apparently our mortgage payment is $1,000 a month, which I know is still a little bit under, especially in today's times, but it's what we're working with. And then, you know, I put water was $20, phone $150. You maybe have a credit card that you're putting $40 towards, internet bill $70, and your car, whether it's your car payment, your gas, your insurance, whatever. I put $120 on this pay period because your car payment's going to be kind of expensive if you've got one. And if you don't have one, car insurance is still kind of expensive, plus gas, so I just kind of lumped it all together. And then the most important thing is you want to have a checking account cushion. And you have to start small. So when you're first starting this, you can't just say, oh, well, I want to have $1,000 in my checking account at all times, because maybe you don't have that to stay in your checking account, and that's okay. Maybe you can only start out with a $5 checking account cushion. Now I would say you need to have a decent cushion, so that way if something crops up that you forgot about or your bills were more expensive, you're covered. So the next thing you want to do, which I didn't fill out in this mock budget, is the variable expenses. So back when we had a house, what would go down there is any money, any variable expenses, so to speak, outside of sinking funds. So for us, that was our food budget. It was Maddie, she got her own category. It was our dog Marley. It was our gas money. I had a household money, and what that was for, it was supposed to be for like paper towels, toilet paper, laundry detergent. You okay? I thought we could get through that and everything be good.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This is the second time I just spilled water. It's filled. It was filled so high.
Just anything household related, or it could be your insurance for your house, however you want to work that, but I just used it for like your toiletry items. And then we had a miscellaneous item, because we all spend things miscellaneously, unexpected, and that's exactly what that was for. Is if we had an unexpected thing we wanted to do or something to crop up, it came from our miscellaneous fund. I had a beauty envelope for any makeup needs, and I believe that was it. Or we had a clothing envelope, and that was really more for me, because her envelope encompasses everything for her, school, clothing, fun. We had a fun envelope. I'm forgetting all of our envelopes. And so again, when you're first starting, of course you want to put like all this money in your fun envelope and stuff like that, but you can't do that. You have to start small. And so when I first started, all I could really afford to put in any envelope was food and then gas, except I quit putting gas in variable expenses, and I listed that in my bill section, because regardless, I had to have it. So it's not one of those things that, oh, you know, if I have it, I have it. If I don't, I don't. So I figured out my gas bill, and I just made sure to put that in my bill section. But in this mock budget, I didn't fill out the variable expenses, because I kind of tailored this more for us right now in our current situation. So I don't have a food bill. I mean, I do have a food bill, but I don't have a food bill. If you didn't watch our previous debt video, we lost our house last year, very unexpectedly. And we were not prepared we were not financially prepared to purchase a home. Were you wanting to say something?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, and we do talk a little more about that situation, like kind of way back. If this helps at all, we were in green shirts, and I had blue eyeshadow, and we went to Sonic. And like that was way back there.
Oh, that actually may be privated now. I don't know.
Oh,
I'll have to, if I can find the video and I didn't like take it down, I'll try to link it up here. But y'all, I'll just say, the last video I put up was supposed to have some info cards pop up, and I didn't save them, or they didn't save properly. So I'm just on a struggle bus right now, so we'll see if I can get them up.
Yeah.
As I was saying, we lost our house unexpectedly, and I'll link the videos if I can find them. And so from that point on, I knew like we wanted to buy a house. I don't want to rent again because I don't want to like lose my home ever again.
No.
And it be like out of my control. So we started saving, but we were getting very discouraged because nothing seemed to be enough. And so we've tried all kinds of different savings programs, and we're sticking with what we're currently doing. So literally everything we have that we can goes to the house. So there are a few things that we do have to prepare for outside of the house. One of those things is her schooling for next year. She is homeschooled. She does do a Becca homeschool online.
And I'm sure it shows that I'm homeschooled.
So, you know, school is not an option as much as she would rather it be an option. It is a necessity. And so,
because lately I've not needed to know the square root of anything. And I don't need to know how to do the radiuses and diameters of, actually radius is the plural. But anyway, I don't need to know how to do that right now. I don't see where I'm going to.
You won't.
I didn't think so.
Either, so.
Thank you.
But yeah, so we have to prepare for school, and then we also have, you know, Christmas. I always save a lot for Christmas because up until this year, it's always been my favorite holiday, and it is still my favorite holiday. It just hasn't been enjoyable. So, anyways, so on the mock budget, and I'll probably just do a different video, so I'll quit showing it. So I did Christmas 2024 school and house in our sinking funds, and that's pretty much always our sinking funds. I don't really have any other sinking funds at the moment. So in this mock budget, you know, I expected the bills to be $900, but they were actually $1,000, and so you take $1,000 out of the $2,000 you brought in, so you still have $1,000 left over. So that could go to your variable expenses, or in our case, it would go to our sinking funds. And so, and this is how I'm actually doing it in real life. So starting in, I think, November, I don't know, at some point recently, I started splitting everything I had left over to go between house savings and Christmas savings. Well, I didn't use all of my Christmas savings from 2023, and even though I realized I have goofed now that I've transferred all the money, that's okay. So I used the money that we didn't use plus what I had already saved, and we have our Christmas budget saved for all but like $45 or $44, and I figured even if we were to get a house, surely I can save $44 in the Christmas budget. So I'm saying Christmas budget is done. So starting this month, I am splitting it between house savings and school. Now I can get her school saved for in about 3 months.
Thank you.
So after March, everything's going to go back to house savings. But the issue with that is the fact that I hope I don't have overtime anymore in March. And so like our savings is going to way decrease. And that's when things kind of get tight again, and we have to really watch what we spend. So that is kind of the process that I use. And I will say that if you want to get serious about your budget and you're like, I'm tired of debt, I'm tired of my money telling me what I can and cannot do, number one, get you a budget. Go follow the Budget Mom. And I would say that when you first start out, you definitely need to start out using cash only. I started out using cash only, And this is how I found out I actually could save money. So like I said, when I first started, I only had enough room to pull out money for our food. And so I would pull out our money for our food. And there were two challenges I was doing with that money. One, any $5 bill that was given back to me in change, it went in a savings on its own. So I prayed for no $5 bills, y'all. And then the second one was any change that I got back, it got put into a jar to save. And by the end of that year, in that jar, we had over $100 saved in change. If you had told me you could save $100, I would have said, no, I can't. There's no way. I don't make enough. But I actually found I did make enough. It's just I wasn't using my money properly, I guess. And so jokingly, well, it's not jokingly, but that $100 became her college fund. So whenever we did move out of our house, I made sure to tell everybody, don't lose that jar. That's her college fund. And so that's what we call it. And that's when it showed me, like, you can save money. And so from there, I just try to get creative. When we were 2020, when we were really hitting the budget hard, we had to come up with things to do for fun that were free or cheap. And that was something else that was commented is, you know, what do you do for fun? Well, you got to get creative. I will not lie about that. For the longest time, we would just go on drives, which I know gas, especially lately, has been kind of pricey. And so that's probably not the best option unless you can go somewhere like close by and do a loop back around. But we did go on a drive for a long time, and we would sing to the top of our lungs, and then we would talk, and then we would sing, and then we would wish we were anywhere but here. And that's one thing that we would do. The second thing we would do is we would come to our local park where we always film these videos, and we would swing for however long we wanted to, and then we would walk a few laps.
Yeah, we used to not. There was a time when we didn't really walk as much. We were mainly just swinging, and we would swing for hours.
That's right. And now we can't swing that long, and we don't understand how we did that.
No.
And so that's what we did for the longest time. And then I got bored of doing the same thing. I'm like, you can't tell me there's nothing else we can do. And that's when I started Googling free things to do around blank town, or cheap things to do near me. And all of these hiking trails started popping up every search I looked at. And I'm like, you know, number one, it gets us out. Number two, it's something different. Number three, we're getting exercise. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And this one particular trail that we went to, it just seemed very interesting. And so that's what we started doing. We just started going around town to all of our different trails that I didn't even know we had. And that's what we do for fun. We also, so each week, we would plan fun things to do at home to get us through the week.
Yeah, we would have game nights, movie nights.
We would have karaoke nights on Friday.
Oh, we probably made our neighbors so mad doing those because we would sing so loud.
Until like real late in the morning.
Yeah, so, and the walls were very thin, so.
Yeah. We did just dance a lot.
Yes, we did.
There would be times where we gave ourselves a little manicure.
Yeah, those were fun too.
And I think that's kind of all the fun things that we would do.
Yeah, this kind of goes with Just Dance, but we also just did like Nintendo nights.
Yeah.
And whereas we played it on Nintendo, we also played like Mario games, and we would take turns doing it.
Right, because we only have the one console/controller set, so we can't really play together. But yeah, so I mean, if you don't have a gaming system, that kind of takes you out of anything in that area, and I totally get it. I was so happy she had Nintendo Switch, and that we had just danced, and then she had just gotten the karaoke last Christmas, 2 Christmases ago.
2 Christmases ago.
Yeah, she got it the Christmas we got kicked. Well, we got kicked out the next year, I think. But anyways, that's besides the point. Were you wanting to say something, or I didn't know if I cut you off?
Oh, the only thing that I was probably gonna say was, yeah, I don't know how we kept that karaoke machine in those 2 rooms because it's so big that it won't fit nowhere where we are.
Oh yeah, no, it can't come with us. But anyways, my battery's running low, so I got to do the Flight of the Bumblebee to wrap this up. So that's kind of like, you just really have to get creative, and my advice to you is just to, if you're trying to find cheap fun things to do or free fun things to do, Google around your town. You can also find, coupons maybe to movies or to local attractions you may have. We really didn't do any of those things. Anything that costs money, we really didn't do. For us, the most we would do is every now and then we might splurge on a pizza, or we might go to get some ice cream. But those were very few and in between days. And before I run out of battery, I also want to say that if you are trying to get started on a budget, I just want to put this out there, that your first paycheck that you start budgeting, you're going to think it will never end. Like, you will think you'll never get to do anything fun ever again. But I promise you that if you just trust the process and stick to it, you will be able to have fun again. It's just that first time I did this budget process with my first paycheck, we didn't have anything left over, and I thought, you have got to be kidding me. Like, what are we supposed to do? And it took a few checks to kind of feel more comfortable, but I'd say after like your 3rd check, things should be back in swing. And the only reason it was harder on me is because I did split like our rent payment in half. I had a car payment that I split in half, and my debt was really high. So I just wanted to let you know, like, it is really hard to get started, but if you just trust the process, it really does get easier. But you have to stick with the budget. So those are all my little tips for now that I can think of. And so I want to ask you guys something. So maybe you had something major you were saving for. What was your process in saving for that big expense? And leave us a comment down below to let us know, because we're always up for suggestions. I can say that right now, thanks to Maddy, and I think I may have mentioned this before, but our current savings plan is trying to save at least 1 paycheck a month worth of house savings. In overtime season, I don't really know what it's equated to. We've obviously spent or saved so much more money with overtime than we would without overtime. But I don't really have those figures yet. But before overtime, we were trying to save half a paycheck, and we weren't always successful with that, mainly because we had bad times and we wanted extra snacks. So that's something else to think about, is when you really want something, are you willing to give up what you're trying to achieve to get that temporary moment of happiness? And for us, that's what we chose to do.
Yeah.
And throughout this rough season of life, we will continue. But once overtime kind of dies down and work life gets back a little more normal, then we're not going to have as many splurge days, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Since our primary goal is to save money, this is what works for us, and I don't know how else to do it, because I've cut everything I know to cut. Even though some of the things we cut, we got back, such as Disney Plus.
Yeah, I was really struggling without that.
So anyways, I think I'm kind of starting to ramble at this point, which, as I say, when I find myself rambling, I think it's time to wrap it up. So yeah, maybe we'll check back in next month to maybe give another budget update and like how we did, and maybe that's what we'll do at the end of each month. Maybe we'll wrap it up and say, you know, this was our goal, and say, you know, did we achieve it or not, and if it didn't work out, why didn't it work out, and how are we going to fix it. So I think now we have talked about all the things, and I think we will wrap it up. So if you still have questions or thoughts, or you'd like to hear more about something, please feel free to leave a comment, reach out, and we will do our very best to get it filmed. But you know, as I mentioned in comments and videos, we are about 2 months behind, and I'm trying to get more current, but it's not really worked out too well. So we will get to it eventually. So just know that if you requested a budget video topic, that we will get to it. It's just going to be a few months before it pops up. We very much appreciate you stopping by and listening to our budget process, I guess you would say. And
I'm thinking of another video that we did with clothes change.
oh my goodness. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you, and stick around, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.